I would just sort of be the facilitator, and Jen, if you would just chip in, and I think I'll let Jen start. So Dr. Cuttapall, Jennifer Cuttapall, has been the force behind getting our grants written and submitted and reaching out to various folks. So once that first slide is up, past that one, who collaborated, how did you make the connections, what worked well, and what were the challenges? And I think, Jennifer, you're probably best to respond to that. And then Tony Williams from Beacon House, a nonprofit in Hagerstown, who's been a great partner with us. And also Dr. Lee, who is in the CS department at Hood College, is a large part of what we're doing. So all of us are here to offer our ideas and to get ideas to better our programs. So with that, Dr. Cuttapall, if you have had a minute to think about that slide, and then the rest of us can chip in if we have something to add.
Well done, Paulette. Thank you.
It's called delegation.
Right, I was going to say, it's very easy to do virtually. I love it. So Tony and Jiang and Paulette can also jump in. So just informally, what we've done is we're in the round 2, and our collaboration is really between Frederick County Public Schools and Frederick Community College. And we partnered with Tony Williams over at Beacon House, but he's really more on the facilitating side rather than the collaboration side. So he's really integral to our process and facilitating of the modules. In terms of making the connections, it's amazing how willing collaborators are when you have money to put into the equation, right? So if you if you build it and you pay people to come, then they come. So in offering these workshops, designing these things for the educators, we found that our partners over at FCC were willing to identify students and help us with recruiting, and we wanted to work with both pre-service teachers and with in-service teachers. And so the way that we had designed it was that participants got and use grant money for either stipends for participation, or they could earn course credit, and that was the Hood in-kind contributions. So some of them are taking it as a class, and some are taking it for payment. And some of the in-service teachers also could do MSDE, continuing ed credits. So that was how we made that initial connection, was, hey, we have the resources to get people to participate. And then what we did was use various means of outreach to try to recruit, because I think the hesitation is people's insecurities around what is computer science, what is computational thinking, and how does it actually relate to me as a K-8 general educator. So I think it was getting over that initial fear and basically saying, come as novice as you are, even if you know how to spell the word computer, you're welcome here. So really beginning with the basics and designing the workshops around real novice understanding and knowledge, and building from there, I think built sort of grassroots excitement. What has worked well in terms of the collaboration is ongoing communication. I think trust has been a big thing, that what we say we're trying to deliver on. The other thing that we had built into the program was the opportunity for mini grants. So participants were able to apply for and present projects that they designed for their classrooms, their current classrooms, or their future classrooms, based on the materials and learning experiences that they had in the modules, and then showcasing those. And you can see from the 2 pictures here, this was the back when we were face-to-face, the sharing of the mini grants and what it looks like in action. So we have from pre-K through middle school level, and we invited participants and collaborators to that celebratory event at the end. Challenges in collaborating. kind of at a loss. I don't know. I think like anything, recruitment is an issue, but I don't know if that's a challenge of collaboration versus just getting the word out. People are busy. Um, it's also the whole idea of too good to be true. You're offering workshops for free, and you're also, allowing participants to earn credit for free, and you're offering a stipend. Like, that doesn't seem right. So we had to do some legwork for that, but I don't know that that's necessarily a challenge that I would consider a challenge. Paulette, Jiang, or Tony, is there anything I missed?
I would just add that part of our connection with FCPS, of course, is that those are our PDS schools. And our PDS coordinator, through both grant cycles, has been very cooperative in getting the word out to our mentors out in the schools who mentor our interns. And I think that especially, I know of one in-service teacher first semester that impacted, and also this semester as well. We have a couple of pairs. So I think that has helped certainly get the word out. And then word of mouth, I think all of us who teach courses of pre-service teachers at the beginning of both the first cycle and this cycle in the fall, we were, beefing that up in our classes to get our teacher candidates interested in doing this and emphasizing the need that they too will be teaching this. So here it is with a lot of benefits to do it now. So what successes and challenges did we have in recruiting? I think certainly second semester has been much easier, and then first semester, because as we said, the word of mouth, teachers were out there talking about it. I think we had 4 to 5 in-service teachers first in the fall in our first go around of workshops. Now we have an even split of 10 in-service teachers and 10 pre-service teachers. So it's worked out very well. And our technology curriculum specialist in Frederick County Schools, I'm not sure that's his exact title, but he is a graduate of our Hood programs in leadership and has a good connection with us at Hood College. I know the second round, he was out there really recruiting. And one of our participants this time who teaches, we've had a teacher of middle school in both series of workshops who teach technology ed courses at the middle school level. And I know this time our participant said he has shared with Mr. McGackey that this should really be a requirement of all the tech teachers in middle schools, that they participate in this. And he was seeing it very beneficial, even though he's taught this for a while and been out in the tech field professionally. He saw great value in it for what it could, because we do start with the basics. And so it's very non-threatening. And sometimes teachers at the middle school level are told, you're going to teach tech ed or this technology course because we have no one else to teach it. So, and so it offers them an opportunity to get a little bit ahead of the curve. So Tony or John, if you want to chip in here, what worked at the different levels, what are we looking for, and how can we differentiate? So I'm going to let you all take that on at this point.
Sure. So I can talk a little bit about, I think what really works is the hands-on piece. We get participants to do a lot throughout the course. The first semester being all in person. This time now, to address the last part of the second slide, how has it changed the second time around is now we're figuring out how to do it all and to teach all of this to the participants. And so we're figuring out our different levels of technology and working online and teaching. And what's really worked, though, I think, is teaching teachers about the technology, but how to use it for computational thinking and computer science. I think the big thing is teachers always see tech as, ooh, shiny new things to bring into the classroom, and they don't always see the connections and making those connections to the content, but also to the computer science and computational thinking is what we have been pushing a lot, because I feel my master's degree is in education for technology integration, and a lot of teachers get tech in their hands and it becomes the toy and not the actual tool that it should be. And we're working a lot on pushing teachers to go past the toy idea and towards the tool. And so we're really trying to get them constantly figuring out, and that's what the mini grant is about. Now that you have learned a little bit, how can you take these tools now to your classroom and keep using them for the future? And that's the big thing about differentiation. We've been trying to, make sure the elementary teachers and the secondary teachers are getting what they need, providing examples throughout. And that's why the second time around, we added some different tools in our toolbox. Funding wise, we got some new robots and things like that to help them understand how to teach math, how to teach social studies, or even English in the classroom a little bit more.
We've also focused more on standards this time around, that everything we do, we ask them to identify the standards that we're accessing and having them accessing and having them do that. I don't think we're still far enough along in that, because as we all know, sometimes we teach and we don't look at the standard of why we're teaching it. So getting that done, I believe, is still a challenge, but they all have them in their hands and they know they are there and that they're to be addressing those. And we also emphasize that if they're teaching an ELA lesson or a social studies lesson or a science lesson where they are using these devices, that if someone were to walk in to observe them during that time, that their supervisor will definitely want to see that they are addressing standards, not only in their core subject, but also the CTCS standards that is being supported by the device. So what ideas did the students in our classes come up with, and how do we capture what students' creative value? I don't know if this would be a good time to show them that video, Diane, that one of our students did.
Generally speaking, showing the video on the webinar usually goes pretty choppy, but there is the video in that folder. If you go to the bit.ly MCCE Preservice inside the Summit folder, you will see a video from one of the Hood College participants. I haven't had a chance to watch it. I would love to.
It takes about 5 minutes, but it's a very creative, I thought she was very creative in how she integrated the CT standards into a socio-emotional lesson. So maybe we could just show a piece of it.
Yeah, let's see how that will go. Let's give it a chance and see what.
It's about 5 minutes long.
Yeah, and it's just right in that folder. We're going to give it a try just because I'm curious to see.
She did a really nice job on this, because she only got.
Jody Eckerd, and I am a elementary gen ed and special education major at Hood College. I took the computational thinking class in the fall, and I absolutely loved it. I'm just going to show you my final project, which was a lesson that involved EvoBots, which are what I got from my mini grant. I'll go ahead and show you those. I filmed this video once, and it was way too long, so I'm going to try and shorten it up for you guys and just quickly walk you through my project. But here is what I got from my grant. I was able to order it on Black Friday and was able to get a lot more for it, which is pretty exciting. But I'll walk you through my project. It's called Calming Coding, and it involves a mental health standard and a computational thinking standard. And it's all about stress management strategies. And so I start off the lesson with connecting it to sensory walks, which are becoming really popular in schools. They're a great tool. And they just kind of have the kids do different activities to get their mind off of their stressor and get through it, and it's really nice. And so what we do is we connect the strategies that the sensory walk may use to some of the calming strategies that the kids would have already learned in class, and have them create their own calming sequence or their own sensory walk using the EvoBots. And so what they would do is they would use this in the activity portion, and this helps them gather their thoughts. It'll be an option for the students to use. It's a graphic organizer that I made. But what they do is they identify which stressor that they are planning. So this example was anxiety attacks was the stressor. And then stress management strategies. And so mine were.
I'm going to leave you with that teaser there.
Okay.
Now you want to see the rest of it.
Thank you.
That was great. I love the way she walked through it. I remember looking at that. So,
So the next slide.
oh, I think, was that the last one?
No.
Or do we have one more in there?
Well, I would add for spring. I think Tony's already addressed this. We
Oh,
are
you're right.
finishing out with our online modules. Dr. Lee has been very instrumental in the computer science pieces of what we've needed. So, John, if you'd like to address that at all. Is he still with us? I wonder if he has it on mute.
I'm looking for him.
While we're looking, we also had one of our professors participate. And so this slide here that you're seeing is Dr. Therese Crespo. And she, actually, no, that's not Dr. Therese. Looks a little bit like her, but that's another pre-service teacher. But we did have one of our professors participate last fall. And then she is doing research at our preschool program on campus, the Georgetown preschool program. Used to be our lab school. It's part day preschool and lab school. So she's doing research there on the readiness of preschool students to learn computational thinking skills. So